So we often get asked in our new client discovery calls whether or not Kajabi is the right platform for someone. Even though we are Kajabi service providers and we're affiliates of Kajabi, we don't always recommend it to everyone. There's actually a number of things that you need to consider before you take the dive into building your business in Kajabi. And one of those things is the stage that your business is currently at. So today, I'm going to share some of the things that we talk about in our discovery calls to help you figure out if this is the right time for you to begin building in Kajabi. Let's get into it. First, let's talk about what ready actually looks like. In our discovery calls, we're not really looking for one specific thing per se. It's kind of a combination of factors that kind of tell us whether someone is ready to start building in Kajabi right now. Some of the things that we look for: you need to have your online course content created in some form. So that means you have some videos filmed. You don't need to have everything polished and perfect, but you do need to have content ready to go. You're also going to need to have an offer that's clearly articulated and planned and written out, and not just written out like for yourself, but you need to have it already shared, this offer, with your audience, because they need to know what you're selling. That's part of the validation process. Now, speaking of your audience, you need to have one. We're talking like well over 100 people, because if you only have an audience of 25 or so, chances are you're not really going to sell very much. You need to have people ready and waiting for this offer before you start building in Kajabi. Ideally, you should have at least 1,000 engaged people on a social media channel or on an email list. That's a really good place to start. Now, here's where a lot of people, they don't think about this part. You need to have either time or money to invest in this. Now, if you have the time, you're going to put in a lot of work to learn Kajabi yourself. And it really does take patience. You're learning a brand new platform, and it's not going to happen overnight. Now, if you have money, you can hire someone like us to help you build. But here's the thing: even if you hire a team of experts to build everything for you in Kajabi, you're still going to need to be involved. You can't 100% delegate all of this out. You need to give direction for your business. You need to understand what you're doing, and you need to understand how the platform works. So you need to have the mental capacity and the headspace to be able to focus on this build. If you've got a lot going on in your personal life or your professional life, and your attention is just being pulled in like multiple directions, you might not have the bandwidth to commit to building in Kajabi right now. But you know what? That's okay, because it just means that the timing isn't there yet. But if you do want to check out Kajabi for yourself, you can use our free trial link in the description below this video, and you can go in and just take a look around. Secondly, let's talk about the reasons that people think that they're not ready when they actually are. We're going to hear this all the time in our discovery calls. Someone might say something like, I don't think I'm ready for Kajabi yet because my course, it's not perfect. It's not exactly the way I want it to be. But here's the thing. Your course does not need to be perfect. It just needs to be good enough to deliver the transformation that you're promising. You can go back and refilm and fix it up later. Or sometimes people will say things like, I don't have enough content yet. But that doesn't matter either. If you have enough content to deliver on the offer, like the promise you made, then you're good to go. I've even seen people sell their offer without the course even being made yet. So that's not a huge deal. Another thing that we do hear often is, I don't have a big enough audience. I don't know what you mean by big enough audience, but you don't need 100,000 followers. You don't need that much. You need an engaged audience, not just lurkers. 1,000 people who actually care about what you're teaching is more than enough to start. Okay, so why does all of this really matter? Well, you need to have a really good offer. And if you're not clear on your offer, that's where you're going to need to get some help. We have Malva on our team. She's our strategist, and she works with our clients who need help articulating their offer. She'll help you get the benefits of your offer written out and clarified so that it's clear to your audience. And she helps you prepare a plan on how to sell that to your audience. So if you're stuck on your offer, then that would be the first step. Work with a strategist, get the clarity, and then you can come to Kajabi. But if you already have that clarity and you're just worried that things just aren't perfect yet, then you're probably more ready than you think. You might be wondering, when do we actually tell people to wait to come to Kajabi? There are a few red flags that come in our discovery calls that tell us that someone's not ready for Kajabi. The first red flag I would say is that, well, you don't have a validated offer. You just have an idea. You come to us and you say, well, I'm thinking about a course that I want to build, or I think I want to sell this idea. We're pretty much just going to tell you you're not ready for Kajabi. You got to go validate your idea first. Go share it with your audience, get some feedback, maybe even sell it manually or run a tiny little beta launch or something, and then come to Kajabi. The other red flag is that you don't have any time or money to invest in this. So if you can't afford the monthly Kajabi fee, or you can't afford to get help when you need it, or you don't have the time to learn the platform yourself, it's definitely not the right time for you yet. Go and build your revenue first. Get to a place where you can support the investment and then come to Kajabi. And the third red flag is that if you have too much going on in your personal or professional life right now, don't even think about Kajabi. We see this all the time. A lot of people, they're building their online business as like this side hustle, working a full-time job. They've got family commitments, and they're trying to squeeze Kajabi in and building a course in on top of all of that. Well, I don't think you really realize that Kajabi does take a lot of time investment and mental capacity. I think that if you're ready and you want to hire someone like us to build everything for you, that's great. But remember, you still need to be involved. It's not a hands-off process. You have to give us direction. You have to understand what's actually happening in your business. You can't have your attention being pulled in multiple directions. It's just not going to work. If that's you right now, then maybe you should wait to clear your schedule, get a place where you can give it your full attention that it deserves, and then you can come to Kajabi. But in the meantime, work with a strategist, validate your offer, build your audience, get everything ready so that when you do come to Kajabi, you can just hit the ground running. So what it really comes down to is, just because Kajabi is the right platform for your business, it doesn't mean that you're necessarily ready for it right now. In our discovery calls, we're always looking for the combination of things: your content created, offer validated, you have an audience, and you have the time and money to invest in building. So if you have all those things, then you're probably ready. So don't keep waiting. But if you don't, that's okay too. Just do the prep work and then come to Kajabi when it's right. Now, even if you are ready, Kajabi isn't the right fit for everyone. Here's the thing. There are situations where we actually recommend a different platform instead of Kajabi. So in the next video here on your screen, I'm going to walk you through when Kajabi is not the right platform and what you should use instead. Go check it out.